are just testing the sound, but it doesn't sound like this is working particularly well. So, hi, I'm just going to, hello? Oh, is that a bit quiet? I've got it on full, but you can't really hear me very well. Um, hmm. I'm just trying to see if I can link up my other mic. So just bear with me. Turn this back on and let's up the levels. We'll turn that one off, turn that one off, turn that one off, and let's see if this works. Okay, so I've turned that up and I'm hoping that you can hear me now. Is that making any difference, guys? Oh, that might be working. Okay, excellent. So, wow, that took a while. I think it was just turned down a little bit. Okay, so I've turned that up and I'm hoping that you can hear me now. Yay! Okay, so that might be working. Okay, so you can hear me twice now, so I'm going to turn myself off. So that's good. And I can see now if there anybody. I think it says we've got one viewer at the moment, but that's okay because I didn't tell anybody that I was going to be here, and obviously you've not been able to hear me for the first part. So I will let you guys know afterwards that we were here on YouTube, so that if you want to join, you want to watch afterwards, then you can. I might just do a little bit of a post for everyone to let you all know that I am live. Shall we do that while we're here? Yeah, why not? Let's do a quick post to everyone. So this is full on live. I am live on YouTube now. If anyone would like to join me. So what I wanted to do obviously was to just test whether this worked, basically, because as you know, I've had a little bit of an issue with Facebook in the past. Not Facebook, sorry, YouTube in the past, and I found software that works for me, but obviously I'm not very technical, let's be honest. So I've struggled a bit, and it is a little bit behind what I'm actually doing, so that's a little bit off-putting. So I'm going to do my best to work with this. If you let me know in the comments if you've got any issues with anything, I will respond to it as soon as I can. But hopefully you can hear me now. So thumbs up for that. Okay, I am going to make a quick card today, and there's a few items that I've got in mind to use, so bear with me while we just grab a few. Might use some of that. I need my frame dies. Where are those bad boys? I definitely want to use those. So I have been packing all of your orders today, and in packing all of your orders, I've been very much inspired by a number of different items. Well, pretty much all of them. I kept saying to Anne, oh, I want to play with this and I want to play with that, and there's just not enough hours in my day. So I'm just going to grab some stencils here. So I thought I was inspired to do this card. This card I have cased pretty much entirely, I will confess, from Catherine Pooler, who is an absolute legend. I love her stuff. I love her inks. And I just thought, yeah, I want to make this card using time for tea stuff, because we've got the perfect things for it, she says, but she can't find the one that she actually wants. And I now have it somewhere. This is what happens when you don't prepare. I just thought, I'm going to go for it. We could use that because that's pretty cool. And I think we do still have few of those in stock. What I'm trying to do here for you guys is show you some of the things that you might have bought in today's, this weekend's sale. So we've had, in case you've been, on Mars, you will know that it has been Black Friday weekend and Cyber Monday today. So everyone and their mother is having a sale. We could use that. Oh, that was the one I wanted. That was the one. We'll go with that one. It's having a sale, obviously, and we are no exception. We are having our own fabulous sale. And I wanted to just show you some of the things that you could be using with some of your sale items, basically. Hello, Harina, how are you? Can you hear me okay? Everything all right? Hopefully the lighting is sufficient as well. This is, like I say, this is a new thing for me on YouTube, going live. I've done a couple of pre-records, but not the lives. So I've got a few goodies here, and like I say, I was completely inspired by a card that I'd seen. Well, two cards that I'd seen actually done by Catherine Pooler. So I'm going to case those as you know, as respectfully as I possibly can. I'm running out of my A6 card bases here. We're going to have to do something about that, aren't we? But I'm going to grab one of my A6 card bases. I'm also going to cut a frame out of using one of the this is the A6 nesting frame die set. Now the offer that's on at the moment is to get both of these at a discounted price already, but then you get an extra 30% off. So, you know, really great time to get two really useful dies. So this one here is a solid die. So it cuts out all of your frames in one go, which is really, really handy. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to cut out my frames. We have got a lot of snow over here, Irina and Shani. Hello to Shani, and Jackie joined us. I don't know if Jackie's still with us, but hello, Jackie, and thank you all of you for your orders this weekend. We've done our best to get as many as we possibly could out. We struggled to get to the office this weekend because of all the snow. Ant had the car anyway because he was working, and he had to dig himself out of our street to get to work. He's for those of you that are new to the channel, he is a firefighter here in Sheffield, and he obviously he's very much needed to be in work. He can't fail to attend because that would be you know, detriment to his workmates and so on, and obviously to the people of South Yorkshire. So he had to dig himself out of our street and the main street next to ours. So I'm just going to check this because this is such a thick piece of cardstock that sometimes it doesn't cut first time, and it does depend on the pressure in your you know, in your machine. So I am just going to line this back up very carefully back into the center because the outside, it has come a bit dislodged, so I'm going to have to very, very carefully place that back onto there. So I'm just going to wrap that round a little bit, and hopefully that will stay in place this time. And I'm using pretty thick cardstock, and my machine is, my plates are a bit warped, so it does sometimes do that to me. I'll pop it through a second time and that should work fine. Fingers crossed. But if this does work as a test, being here on YouTube, then I hope I'll be able to do this a bit more often, you know, because it will be lovely to be able to do a live stream both on Facebook and YouTube occasionally. So now we've managed to cut out all of those pieces, and they'll just come apart. Where we've got any like little shavings, sometimes you get little shavings on the side. So a good idea is to just get a little bit of your washi tape, and we can just wrap this around our fingers. So just stick that around my finger there, and then just rub around the edge of your pieces there, and that'll get rid of any of those little shavings without damaging your cardstock. You don't have to go to, you know, start snipping at things. So, and it is quite a delicate you know, cut once you've got all these bits out. But you see here, we've got a little frame there for a sentiment. So all of these bits you're going to be able to use here. You've also got another like little sentiment strip. So again, you can use that to stamp on your, to stamp a sentiment. So I just popped some of these larger ones to, smaller ones, sorry, to one side, because it's the larger one that I think I'm going to use. So let's just give that a little bit of a, you can see it's gathered all of those little shavings. It's really cool. So just do that along this one as well. And I think it's either going to be that one or this one, the one I'm going to use. The outer one, the very largest one, is the same size as my card panel, and I want to leave a bit of a gap there. So I'm not going to use that one this time around. But what I am going to do is use my other die, which is my layering die, to cut out the piece of cardstock that I do want for my background. And you see it's also cut my little bits of washi tape there on the back, but you'll not see those. So that's a really handy little tip. And I've got all these other shavings on here that it's wiped off for me as well, so I'll just gather those up. I've still got bits of sparkle on my surface here from the last video that I did. So you can see that this is my my A6 card base, and that fits perfectly around there. So that would make a really nice frame for another project, or even you could use our super thin shaker tape. So of which I do need to get some more of, and order some more. That fits perfectly along the width there. If I just show you quickly how that works, mine's obviously being used quite well and gutted from the middle, but yours would be a full roll. And that fits perfectly and is being sized perfectly to fit these frames, you see. So you'll be able to use those to make your shakers. Okay, so I have now, let me just crease this properly. So now we've got that bit done. So that's cool. So the next thing that I want to do, there's two things that I want to do here, and I don't think I'm going to have time to do the one that I really wanted to do, which is annoying, but you know, it's alive and so on. So this is the second frame, and I think that is a really nice size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a look and see if one of my layering dies will match up to this on the inside, which it should, because they've been made to fit. So yeah, so that one is pretty much the same size as this frame. So I'm going to cut out a piece of cardstock that fits that, because I want that to sit behind my frame. Do you see? And this is why these are great to purchase together, because you'll be able to use them in conjunction with each other for slightly different things. So let's pop this on our cardstock and we'll pop this through the machine. So sorry if the machine is a bit noisy. It's a Gemini. It's a great machine, but it is a bit loud, a bit on the loud side. So my next task is to use the tree stencil. And how noisy was that? Oh, I can see a few more comments. So, good evening, says Petra. Irina says, am I the only one who has trouble with the sound? And the sound isn't great, hard to hear what I'm saying. So it's still difficult to hear me, is it? You may have to turn your volume right up. I've tried different mechanisms with the sound, and none of them seem to be improving. This was the best that I could come up with. So I do need to, oh, I thought I was going to have to put that through again, but I didn't. So you may have to, like I say, up your sound on your device, whatever device you're using to listen on, I've got it on max here as well. Hoping, now I'm not really sure which mic it is that I am speaking into, but I think it might be the mic that's on my video camera, which doesn't really seem to be picking up a lot of noise. I'm going to try see if this is on full volume, but I don't think it's this mic that's working, and I've not quite figured out how to get that mic to connect up, so I do need to do a little bit of tweaking of that. Is it bearable at the moment? Is it manageable? Or would you like me to do a little investigation now while you guys are there listening? I'll wait to see if you guys can respond. Maybe you can't hear me. Okay, let's do a little bit of crafting while I wait for a response. My sound is on max, but it sounds cracky. Oh, right, Petra, I hear what you're saying. We could do a little bit of an experiment to see if we can. I think I'm going to do this as an embossing folder is my plan. So I'm just lining this up on my piece of my cardstock onto my stencil, and then I'm going to attach it with some of my washi tape here, and I'm going to pop it through my die cutting machine in this sandwich. Now it may need an extra shim to go through, and I've put that on a bit wonky, haven't I? Let's just straighten that up a little bit. That's quite straight. So I'm going to pop it through my machine like this, and like I say, I might need a little bit of an extra shim. I just need to remind myself what I've done with my extra shims. I do have some, but I hide them from myself for some reason. For some reason I put them in different places that I can never remember. Oh, here we go. I think this is my little bit of extra shimmage. So let's pop this sandwich together. I'm going to pop this over the top there and see if this works. If not, we can pop a bit of cardstock on it. While you were talking about the sound, it was better. Are you talking softer now? Oh, right. So maybe I need to just speak up a little bit and that will help. Sorry about the Gemini noise. Come on, Gemini. The Gemini almost gave up the ghost. So do I just need to talk up a little bit? Do I just need to raise my voice a little bit so that it's a bit more easy for you to hear? I can do that for the moment. Or was it because I turned up the volume on the microphone? Who knows? I need to do some more testing, don't I? And then we'll be able to figure it out. So thank you for bearing with me. Even though it's not the ideal situation. But yes, this is why I have to try these things. But I also want to give you something fun to watch rather than me just going, can you hear me now? Which is what I was doing for the first 5 minutes of this video. So you can see how that has embossed that really, really well into our bit of cardstock. And so we've got this lovely embossed detail on our card base. Because of the pressure of the machine, my washi tape does really stick. So I'm just being really super careful when I pull that off so that you can't see it. Irina says, sometimes it's just like the sound goes off. The loudness is sometimes very loud and sometimes very silent. So is the loudness when the machine is on? Definitely need to figure out my sound situation. Is it too horrible to listen to? I'm going to have to listen to it back, aren't I, afterwards? If it is too horrible for you to listen to, you must let me know, because I will stop the live. I don't want, I don't want this to be a horrible experience for you guys. So we've now got this lovely frame for our embossed background. That's really, really pretty. I love that. And then what I'm going to do, I've got here my winter background stamps and dies here. And I thought what would be based on obviously the one that I'd seen done, which was so beautiful. I thought I would do my own take on it. So what I'm going to do is I have these gorgeous little trees, and I thought it'd be really cool to stamp these along here in a line. We've got a little zigzaggy tree, and we've got a full stamp of tree there, which is really cool. And I could stamp these along the bottom of along here, and we could then have, I was going to use one of these sentiments actually, but they might be too large, but let's have a look. Because my thoughts were that we could have maybe a happy winter birthday, because a lot of people have birthdays in winter, but obviously everybody's talking about Christmas, aren't they? So I just thought it might be quite nice to do something that was a little bit different and was for a birthday. No, it's not too horrible now, says Petra, and beautiful background, says Irina. And no, it's not only when the machine is on, so it could be at other times. Righto. Right, so I'm going to persist for the moment, if you guys are okay with it, and then we will do some more testing on the sound a little bit later on, and I might enlist Anthony's help. He's actually at work at the moment. He's on nights, so he is not able to help me right now, which is a shame. So I've got a couple of different greens here. I've got a Catherine Pooler green, Lime Ricky this is called, which is a really nice colour of green. I've also got some Memento here as well. So I thought to do these in some different coloured greens on the background there would be nice. And then I might do a bit of gold heat embossing for my sentiment. I thought that might be quite nice to do. So because these are only small stamps, I'm going to try my hand here at a little bit of just freehand stamping, which we don't always do a lot of, do we? So I'm going to risk it for a biscuit, and I'm just going to clean off my stamp because I feel like it looked a little bit mucky. And what should we do? I think I'm going to do dark light, oh, dark light. Yeah, I'm going to do it that way, so that would be the lighter one. It'll all make sense, I promise. So I'm just going to add a little bit of ink onto here, and then stamp this little guy down. Oh, I love it. And I think, do you know what, I'm going to do a couple just because I can. There we go. So we'll just wipe that off. I must admit, I have been, like I said to Anne, I'm really, really excited about all of the different, the different items in the new release, as well as seeing some of the older products that you guys are ordering as part of the sale. It just really has got me going. I'm feeling very, very creative at the moment. I've got lots of different ideas that I want to put into practice. And there just doesn't seem to be enough hours in the day, does there, to do all the crafty things that we want to do. But I've really enjoyed the sales. I know you guys will have picked up some fun time for tea things, but have you purchased any other fun items? Anything else that you've purchased? So this is actually a Memento ink, not as juicy as those Catherine Pooler ones, but still hopefully will give me a nice clean impression and a nice dark green. Oh, I like that. I do like that green. So let's try it again. So if we ink it up a second time, sometimes that does just help get an extra clean impression. I'm just going to do it this way around. Oh, just to save on my cardstock, because I can probably get another one on this side. And we'll try the this one here. And this time I'm going to take my ink to the pad, to the stamp, and just using light taps to apply the ink. My paper wanted to curl up at me there, so hopefully we've got a good impression, but that looks good to me. I'm happy with that. So I think we'll just do one more, because we're on a roll. And I'm going to turn that one this way. And press firmly but don't squash. And that's got those down there. I hope you guys are still hanging in there. Thank you for joining me. I do appreciate it. Especially, you know, it's just a, what actual day is it? It's Monday, obviously. It's Cyber Monday. But I do think, because Anne and I work such odd hours, we work all kinds of hours, not just, you know, your normal Monday to Friday. We do forget, actually, what day is it? So it's either a day that Aunt is working, or it's a night that Aunt's working. And yeah, that's how we determine kind of what day or night it might be, rather than it's Monday or it's Tuesday. The other way that we know what day it is watching Strictly Come Dancing. So I don't know, obviously I know Petra and Irina, I think you are not based in the UK from what I can recall. So you might not know what I'm talking about when I talk about Strictly Come Dancing, but it is a TV show in the UK that Aunt and I are just totally obsessed with. Excuse me. And it's like Dancing with the Stars in America. I think Dancing with the Stars is actually come from Strictly Come Dancing. I think Strictly Come Dancing was first, is going to be my guess. So I'm just doing an extra treat. What you will find, I think I've stamped them a little bit too close together to do the next one. Have I? Oh no, I think we can just about do it. So I just want to make sure that I've lined that up right. So because they are small images, there could be a tendency for them to move ever so slightly in your machine. So to cut a couple is no bad thing, because I want to make sure that one of them will come out right, I'm sure. Sorry about my head popping into view there. And the good thing about this die set is you do get extra ones. So you don't just get one, even though they are the same shape, you get more than one, so that you can cut out a few at once, which is very handy, I feel. I'm going to use my little die cutting machine for this. Petra says she's watching and listening while crafting. Oh, so you're struggling to do the listening part though, I guess. But thank you for joining me. That's really cool. And Irina says, lovely little trees. They are very cute little trees. And you could, actually, if you wanted to, you could heat emboss these. You could even make them rainbow trees. You don't have to do them in the traditional colours that I've used. You could make a little rainbow set of trees. Why didn't I do rainbow trees? Oh, I feel like I should have done rainbow trees. Maybe I'll do another one with rainbow trees. I think rainbow trees would have been very cool. So let's pop these out. Oh, great. That one's come out really cute. I like it. So we've got like our own little mini forest going on here. So, oh, that one came out super cute too. So I'll just move this down a little bit so that you can see what I'm doing. And I'll just see then if maybe I want to do extra trees because, oh, he came out really well also. Or whether we've got enough with our little forest of mini trees here. Oh, isn't that adorable? I love it. So if we were to have a fifth tree, it would be another one of these, wouldn't it? I think that's what would. I think a fifth tree might be just the ticket. So I'm gonna say we could either do 2 of these with the plain one on the outside, with the outline on the inside, if that makes sense, and then 2 of the darker trees on the outside. Yeah, I like that. I'm going to go with that. So let me cut out this one. Hopefully I can cut this one out as successfully as the others. Sorry if I went off screen there. So I've got another one there and another couple of those guys there. Let's grab. So this is going to be a really nice, clean and simple card, and I do have someone in mind for this card. Somebody who is probably would appreciate this style of elegant card, I think, for their birthday. So, and somebody as well who, like a lot of people at this time of year that have got birthdays, is going to appreciate that somebody's made a special effort for their card, and hasn't just used a Christmas card, you know, as a birthday card. That they've taken into account that the time of year is wintry, but it is their birthday and it is their special day. So, there we go. So let's grab. Yeah, that will fit on there quite nicely, I think, won't it? So I'm happy with my little forest of trees. I think they look absolutely adorable. And I'm going to use this scrap of cardstock to cut out the Happy Winter Birthday, or to stamp out the Happy Winter Birthday. So let's just pop my inks out of the way because I'm going to use some of my embossing ink for this one. So I'm going to find, what have I done with that? Oh, there it is. Just going to grab my embossing powder here, my anti-static powder, just to give that a nice little rub over the top. Can never go wrong with rainbow, says Petra. Rainbow cards are amazing, aren't they? But the green trees do look good, but I do think that I wished, in hindsight, which is a marvellous thing, that it would have been good to do rainbow trees, and then that would have changed it up from the original quite a bit, because the original was done in green. So, like I say, all props to Catherine Pooler for inspiring me to make this card. But I you know, I just had to use Time for Tea products, because I knew I could do it justice. So stamping that in the embossing ink, and then I've got some Wow Metallic Gold, which is one of my favourite embossing powders, especially for sentiments. So chucking that on there, giving it a light tap. So you just want to get rid of any extra bits. And if you've still got a few little tiny little bits that are hanging around, we want want to get rid of those. So I think I've got an even smaller brush than that somewhere. I can't find it right now, which is typical. You want one that's got like nothing on it really, don't you? Just to wipe away those tiny wee bits. This is very tiny. Let's try this one. And just get those. Tiny wee bits. Yeah, I'm happy with that. So I'm gonna heat this. So this might also be noisy. So let's see how this affects the sound situation, shall we? Putting you guys through it, I know. I'm gonna crack this one day if it's you know, if it's the last thing I do. I will crack it. So Ant and I are going to be back at HQ tomorrow. So he's on nights tonight. God bless him. So he was working yesterday. Then he's on nights tonight. And he's going to come with me tomorrow morning to finish off packing up orders. So he's a trooper, isn't he? He's a trooper. But we've had an unprecedented amount of orders this time around. It has been so cool. So hopefully you can see this as it takes hold. Oh, I can feel it on my fingers there. There we go. Love that. Okay. So that's awesome. So for this one, I don't believe there is a die that cuts out this sentiment. So I could either fussy cut around it, or I could trim it with my scissors, because it with my trimmer, because it's not going to fit into one of my frames, unfortunately. It could possibly fit into some other frames that I've got, so might be an idea having a little look for some of those. So what I'm thinking is the label, square label frame dies, which we don't have these in stock at the moment, but we will be getting back in stock. Is this going to be a little bit too small? Is it just going to be... Ooh, that could work. I don't know if it's going to end up being a little bit too much. But I'm happy to cut it out once, because we can always just trim the edges off if it ends up being a little bit too tall. I feel like it would have been nice if it wrapped around it at that point, but the one below is just going to be too small. I know it's just going to be, yeah, that one's way too small, which is a shame. So what do we think? I'll try cutting it, and then we can always trim it afterwards if it doesn't work. It's not a problem. Okay, so let's pop that on there. Is it straight? Straightish. Okay. One more turn required. So here we go. See what this looks like, shall we? Oh, I might have done it a little bit off centre. It's a bit annoying. But yeah, I feel like it's just a bit too big now, isn't it? It needs to kind of sit just there. So I think we're probably going to have to trim it down, is going to be my my thoughts. And I do really wonder if I should fussy cut it, but I'm not a very good fussy cutter, so I'm not going to risk it, I don't think. I'm going to use my trimmer instead. And my Tim Holtz trimmer is my mostest favourite, so I'm going to, hopefully you can see what I'm doing, because it might go off the bottom of the screen, I'm thinking. There we go. So it's a little bit rounded on the top there, because I didn't position it quite low enough down. So we might have to do some fussy cutting actually in the end. No, I think we can do this. How cool is this though? This is going to be so smooth. Yes. So what I've done is I've not quite lined it up perfectly, so there was a bit more to take off one side than the other. So yeah, you couldn't see me do any of that, could you? Because it just went off the bottom of my screen there. Sorry, and there wasn't enough table. So, and the sound of the chopping in real life sounds amazing, doesn't it? But I imagine that it might have sounded a little bit much. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, so let's tip some of these bits out and let's see how we're going to do this. So I'm going to attach this with some liquid glue, and then I'm going to use some of that shaker tape that we talked about to do my frame. I am absolutely boiling hot in here now. I've been freezing all day and now I am quite melting, but that's because we've had the heating on all day, even though we've not been in, which drives us both mad, but hey ho, you need to keep the house warm, don't you? And I've got my hoodie on. I've got about 4 different layers on to keep warm, and the lights, I've got some big like filming lights on in here, obviously to help me light up the you know, everything so that you can see what I'm doing. And what that means is that oh, what's happened here? Stickies come off. Not in the right place. There we go. There we go. So let me just wrap this around my frame. See if I can align this up super straight. So yeah, so now because I've got the big lights on, it's making me very toasty. So I can see you guys saying that you do love it when you see the embossing powder melt. It is still one of my favourite things for sure to see, because it, you know, it still amazes me how it works. And it's definitely one of those things that when you see for the first time as a crafter, you're like, yes, I need to get me some of that. So yeah, it is very cool. So let's see now how we're going to get a really nice frame there. And that's going to give us a nice little well, yeah, a frame for all our elements to sit inside of. So I'm just going to peel back some of this backing tape from my sticky, because what I want to do is just be a little bit, I suppose, a bit careful of how I line this up. So I might have to get my head in view, so I do apologise. You don't want to see the top of my head really, do you? But I feel that that's the only way to really line this up. So, and what I can do then is just gently position it before I remove the rest of the sticky. And then you know you've got it in the right place before you fully commit, which is always good. So I want some of that same height for my sentiment and for my little trees here. So I'm going to use probably some of that same shaker tape, because then that will give me that same height that I'm after. So, and like I say, I do want that for the sentiment. Now what I do have here is some extra wide tape. Now this extra wide tape, I'm going to be putting an order in for this real soon, because it is my absolute favourite. You can't actually get this anywhere as a crafter, I don't believe. It's not really made for crafters, I don't think. I've asked for it to be made for me and the way that I would like it. Is that central? I feel like that would be central. Central enough for us, isn't it? So yeah, so it is pretty awesome. Okay, let's get these little trees down. And my trick here, I'm going to use my quick sticks tool, and I wonder if can I zoom in a little bit more. I'll have to come upwards a little bit so that you can see, because I also need to get the positioning of my workspace correct, so that you can all see what I'm doing a little bit better. But that little line of trees, is that not just adorable? So let's start with that centre tree. I'm just going to cut a little bit of tape off here and flip him over. And a little bit of that hanging over, we can just poke that back underneath. And then stick him in place. And then this guy. Cut that one a little bit too long as well. Hopefully not. So I'll just add a little tree, and I'm trying my very best to keep them straight as possible. So this is what I would call a very, very un-Joe-like card. It's a very clean and simple, very elegant. Normally, you know, you would see lots of critters in my scene building, but I just fancied doing something that was a little bit different, using some of the elements that you might have seen or bought in the sale. Some of you, or you might actually have had these dies or stencils for quite a while, and just want a new idea of how to use them, just a new take on something. So yeah, that's what I was in the mood for doing. I just thought, I love these stamps, I love these dies, and I've not used them in such a long time. What can I do that's different? And I saw this card and I just thought, yes, we need to do it. Irina says she loves clean and simple, and it looks really great. Oh, thank you. Does it look like I've done a fairly fairly good job of keeping those on the straight and narrow, as they say. Right, let's just pop my foam tape away. Now, Clean and Simple is not my bag. I always want to add more, and I feel like I probably shouldn't add more because there are things that I could add. I'm just going to have a little reach behind me. Because we've used some gold, we could add some gold sequins, but I think they're going to look a little bit too much. We could also add some, sprinkles actually, or we could just leave it as is. We could just say, Joe, just say no, couldn't we? That's what we could do. We could say, just keep it clean and simple. Now, I've got a big bag here of some of our festive trees. These festive trees are adorable little embellishments. But I think they will take away from the simple cleanness of our background. So I don't think I'm going to add those, but they are adorable little embellishments. Or we've got our winter flurries. Now in the winter flurries bag, we have some little snowflakes. And again, we could add 1 or 2 little snowflakes to the background. But again, that's taken away from the clean and simple, isn't it? And I don't think I really want to do that. I don't think I want to interfere with it at all. So I'm gonna do something that I find so hard to do, and that is not put anything else on this card. Looking on screen, those little snowflakes look really pretty, but I feel like in real life they will take away from these elements. So I think it does need to be left as clean and simple. So I'm showing restraint, and I'm leaving it well enough alone. So sorry about the crinkling there. So let me show you this a little bit closer. We've got quite the mess around me here. So I'm just going to bring this a little bit closer to the screen. Oh, there we go. And you can see that lovely embossed detail in the background, how those little trees pop up, and then the shimmer of the embossing on our sentiment. It's a really lovely, classy card. Yay! Well, I'm sorry if that was, hard on your ears and you weren't able to hear me very well. I really appreciate you sticking with me. I'm going to listen to it again and I'm going to work on it. But we'll be back for another live and another card project. And maybe actually what I want to do for one of my next lives is to show you how I made these little guys. I absolutely loved making these. These were so much fun to make. So these used some of the new release items. So they were the using the Home for Christmas dies, the Joyful Winter paper sets, and the Memory Keeping Essentials dies to make these cool little gift bags and tags for Christmas. So yes, that I think is going to be one of the next lives that we do, so look out for that as well. Cool. Well, thank you so much for joining me, guys, and I'll see you again very soon for another live. See you soon, guys. Thank you. Have a great evening. Stay warm and out of the snow. Bye.